Hello. Oh, there we go. So I've been talking this whole time. Anyways, let's just pretend that doesn't happen. I'm just gonna restart my whole stream. Hey, thanks for letting me know, Rudy. Thank you so much. Dude, I would have been talking for so long. This happened to me once before. Um, why? Literally why? I did not change any settings on my computer. I literally just hit start streaming and, well, here we are. Okay, starting from the beginning, I guess. Welcome back to episode 370. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. Jobless claims, all this stuff. Yeah, forget everything that I was doing in the past. Okay, real stream starts now. Bitcoin's current price 66,000 was I was saying. Oh yeah, smart people talk to themselves. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, awesome. I was expecting a bit of a rise on Bitcoin is kind of what I was saying while I was, just in my own thoughts, talking to no one in particular. It's going to be difficult to see a rise like this, but if we do get one, it would be decent. We'd have an uptrend in our favor, but we would be overshadowed by whatever downtrend this is due to a resistance at 80,000. Will we ever approach that is kind of my thoughts on it. We do need a good catalyst to kind of push us up there. What is that catalyst? We don't know yet. I was talking about how usually like if the first half of the month is kind of like little to no volatility, usually the next half of it will bring us something better. I was at least hoping for that. And my levels, of course, for paying attention to, it's 70,000. That's psychologically, right? Also a bit of a resistance that we saw over here. Support level at local bottom, 60,000. And downtrend and validation at 73,000 as of right now. If we do manage to break out of that and get into an uptrend, we're looking at 80,000. That's kind of what I was pointing towards. How likely will that be? Probably not that likely, honestly. As time goes on, this is just likely to continue heading lower because we're just approaching this support level even more, just gradually, just decaying over there. So it's going to be rough in that sense. What else was I talking about here? People were calling for 65,000 to be the support level or a bounce. I don't really see why, like, other than it being 65,000. Just an important psychological level. But other than that, why bounce at 65,000? I don't really believe in that, honestly. I'm mainly pointing towards like end of this week ending at 60,000 or hopefully someplace approaching 70,000 or above. That would get us next to whatever this downtrend, super trend would, how it would react close to that price, right? That's kind of what I'm expecting for Bitcoin. Overall, not a lot of movement. Been a boring week. But we still got some good news to talk about, so hey, at least there's that going on for us. And rest in peace my position. I was also bragging about the extra $1 that I made here. Yeah, I'm up $2 now. That's crazy. That was from the bonus position, which apparently, yeah, I couldn't cancel it yesterday because I was coincidentally clicking close position at the 24-hour timer, like right on time. So that's why it was glitching out yesterday, but okay. Now, moving on to Ethereum, same deal. Not a lot of movement here. My levels haven't really changed. Current support at 1,750. 2,000 is a psychological level that we're kind of trying to approach or stay at. Super trend level 2,160 and dropping. Resistance if we do get a rise from breaking out of the super trend. You're looking at 2,400. Those levels remain the same. Worst case scenario, 1,500 to 600 on ETH. No big changes there. Okay, on Solana, $78. Kind of in the middle of whatever we've got going on here with this range. We do clearly have a resistance because we were not able to break out of whatever this is. About, we'll call it 90, right? 90 seems decent. I'll note that as a resistance level. We've approached it a couple times, haven't really been able to fully break out of it. Now Super Trend is peaking a little below that at 88. And dropping, so we'll see how low that goes. Otherwise, we're expecting Solana at 67. Lovely. I don't like seeing that, honestly. I checked my other ETF Solana position. It's really bad. Like, my average price on it is so high up, and Solana's price is so down low, so it's like... I mean, it's fine. I could save myself from it. I don't have a lot of money put into it. Like, I could drop 1,000 and easily get my average price to basically current price. That's how little I have invested in it, but it's a little fun experiment that I've been doing with my ETF positions. especially for Solana ETFs. Hey, what about all these ETFs for the altcoins that we were getting or supposed to get? Ultimately, they didn't do much for the markets, right? We were expecting huge volume to hit into the markets, a lot of buying activity. But I guess they kind of stepped in at the wrong time, right? They started approving ETFs in the middle of a government shutdown, in the middle of the largest altcoin liquidation historically event ever. You know what I'm saying? October 10. Like, pick a worse time to start releasing ETFs for all these altcoins. Am I right? So yeah, Hyperliquid staying above 30. That's lovely. I will be talking about Hyperliquid in comparison to Coinbase. Today, Coinbase had their earnings. We will be going into an extensive deep dive on Coinbase and the stuff that's going on there. So historical lows as well for Coinbase. It's not going well for them. Yes. Hi, Greg. Good evening to you too. A few minutes late. Don't worry about it, dude. I was talking into the void for the first, I don't know how long, 5 minutes of the stream. No worries, though. We're back and we're running. So, I mean, for Hyperliquid, I'm just hoping we do stay above 30. That's all there really is to it. I bet I don't know how viable that will be. We kind of dropped below it recently over here, and if general market weakness continues, like, interest will drop and nobody would want to trade much anymore. The commodities hype being at all-time highs all the time, it's kind of relaxed a bit as well, so that is why we're seeing Hyperliquid kind of, you know, the popularity is still there, but it's kind of dying down a little bit, just a little bit. Sui says it's up 1%. We're still like, do you think this is up 1%? We're still all the way down here. I don't really count that. But 91 cents, not $91. I wish. Resistance still at $1. That's still there. Support being whatever low we just recently hit at 78 cents. Downtrend continues for Sui for the time being. Recovery on it might be great if we ever do get one. Apart from Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana, I probably would start betting on Sui once we do start recovering, once downtrends start breaking, once we start getting some good uptrends in our favor. That's what I would, I'd hope to get a big, nice return on Sui due to its volatility in nature, and also the fact that it's really oversold. It might have a really good relief rally, at least. In the bear market, it's going to be difficult because, I mean, it's like a really intense battle between bulls and bears, right? Oh yeah, J-Rock, welcome. Skip ahead, like 5 minutes. I'm just gonna message that. Skip ahead, 5 mins, lol. Alright, there you go. I'm gonna edit that out in post, okay? Don't worry. It's happened to me once before. That's so annoying. I don't even know why. Like, I did not touch my microphone. I did not change any settings. I didn't unplug it. I just had to go back into my OBS and kind of reselect the default. What is even the default? There's nothing else that uses a microphone. Unless, I don't know, the government is already listening in. Yeah, there you go. Great. So, I don't know. I do feel like Sui might get something ready for a good rise, hopefully soon. We've been in a downtrend for exactly how long? Oh, basically 1 month. 1 month downtrend. Can we at least get like a half a month of an uptrend to take advantage of that? I feel like it could be possible soon, but we would need a breakout of $1. So I'm going to be paying attention to Sui at $1 from here on out. Potential great opportunity for entry. If we stay below it and we just continue decaying and heading lower, don't even think about it. If you want to go short, that's risky. I mean, we've been in a downtrend for a very long time. So that's kind of my argument against shorting as of right now. Yeah, I would maybe look for an uptrend confirmation and then go long on Sui. That's my plan. We'll see how it goes. We'll be keeping our eyes on that. I'm seeing a lot of that same scenario for a lot of altcoins right now. Chainlink's another example at 918, breaking this downtrend. Might drop a little lower, actually. I don't know. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday. What are we getting Friday? We're getting inflation data Friday. Maybe it brings some volatility, but I don't know. Not even non-farm payroll data could push Bitcoin too much around, right? We did get some movement, but ultimately it was more of a sell-off. It was because of the mixed reaction that we talked about with the jobs numbers, right? We talked about how jobs numbers came in great, good for the economy. Labor market is doing well. Why is that bad for us? Because if labor market is doing well, the Fed doesn't need to cut rates. Okay, relax, pal. We're still going to get 2 rate cuts this year, eventually. Powell's not going to cut rates anymore, so we got to wait for not Hassett, whoa, Warsh. I'm mixing up my Kevins here. We got to get Warsh to get some rate cuts into the market. It's not only based on his decision, of course. The other Fed governors also have to vote in favor of that. And people, of course, are nervous of Kevin Warsh because, of his stance back in 2008. I'm sure he is no longer going to be hawkish when it comes to rate cuts, or rate hikes in this case, because he was very pro-rate hikes during that time. Now, this time around, he was handpicked by Trump, maybe for sinister reasons, I don't know, but I'm hoping that Trump picked him because he knows for sure that Kevin Warsh will indeed cut rates. And Trump keeps on calling, even as recently as yesterday, I think. We literally did cover that with the great jobs numbers that he was self-promoting. Yeah, the interest rates deserve to be at such a low percentage, and it would save us trillions of dollars annually in fees, right, and interest that we would save. So yeah, I feel like that is, I don't know. We'll see what Kevin Warsh does, honestly. And that's part of the uncertainty, right? That's part of the beauty of the whole game. Now, what was I going to say about... Oh, yeah. So the jobs data that we got yesterday, it was bad for us in that sense. But also, it should be good, because we were getting a lot of bad data, and the talks of recession were starting to kick in again, and that's something we also do not want. So having good jobs data kind of shoos away the fear of recessions, because, we're not in a recession. We're actually doing okay. So that kind of fixed things a little bit, but we kind of had to take a bit of a beating with the markets, just a little bit. Because ultimately, we're sacrificing the possibility of us getting a rate cut. Dude, we already know we're going to get them just later in the year. But people are greedy. People are impatient. People want to get ahead of the move. So they're pricing it in like immediately. Which I don't think that's the way you should do it. But that's just how the market works. We can't change it. So that's Wall Street for you. Import the Wall Street, become the Wall Street. That's what I think about it. Now, Chainlink, $8.40 right now. Just been talking all this time. Same deal. Low at 730 is what I'd look for. But a breakout of 918 could be interesting. Could take us to something around maybe $10, $11. Yeah, obviously. But I don't know. They're all overshadowed. Everything that is about to break its super trend, downtrend line is overshadowed by just in general another larger downtrend line. Majority of the altcoins are. So that's just one thing I would caution against, right? Here's another example on BitTensor. Did we make a new low yet? Almost. We hit a low of 143. Our lowest was 142. I was expecting this thing to drop to 134 approximately. Not going to fully rule that out yet. Could still happen, of course. It's only... where's my shift button? It's only 14% away. Dude, we're dropping like huge amounts every day on BitTensor. What is going on? But that's another thing I was mentioning, right? Like in a bear market, it's really difficult to like actually navigate through it. The bulls and the bears, they don't know what to do. The bears will just keep pushing things lower, but then like the recoveries are so intense that they will just get liquidated, and then the bulls will start thinking that they're geniuses until ultimately the reality once again kicks in. It's like, no, actually you're still in a bear market, so we're about to make a lower low. You were just part of the higher low. No, you were just part of the lower high. Jeez, I'm mixing up my terms here. Does that make sense? Like, this kind of move can happen and people are going to be like, look, we're so back. But ultimately, you're just part of this kind of move in the macro. And that's what a lot of people do not really realize. Stuff like this will happen very frequently in a bear market, which, you know, it'll make fools out of both bears and bulls. So that's another thing you got to be cautious for. In terms of bit tensor here, 170 is what I'd like to see a break above to approach 200, if that's even possible. That kind of volatility is going to have to happen tomorrow, and I really do not think it will. Because of how markets reacted on, well, yesterday, Wednesday, with the non-farm payroll data, it didn't really react, right? So that's a bit boring. I don't know what to expect from it anymore. Here we are, Aptos making new lows. Let's go. 89 was our lowest today. I was looking at 87 to be a potential new low for it. We're approaching it still. Not ruling it out completely. Downtrend invalidation is looking like it wants to approach maybe $1 soon. And then, once again, overshadowed by a larger downtrend line itself. So any recovery rally should probably be short-lived, is what I would see. But I think I like Sui's setup a bit more, because where is that actual downtrend? I'm not saying that we're going to immediately moon to 169. I mean, we could. The money exists to do that. Money exists to get us into an all-time high, no problem. But why? We're in the middle of a bear market, so it's not going to really happen. And Aptos, I don't know, man. Very, very inflationary. You just got to compare the two between Aptos and Sui. They're basically brother and sister. Except that one is inflationary and one is not that inflationary. It's still inflationary because of the token unlocks, schedule, etc. But it's got a max supply. Sui does. Aptos does not. So that's the difference between the two. I don't know. Monero also looking at something interesting here. I'd like to enter above 370. I know I'm saying I want to enter at a higher price. I just want the confirmation of it, and I'm willing to leave a few dollars on the table to get that absolute confirmation that we will be flipping the trend in our favor here. I'm liking what I'm seeing with Monero so far. I'm not seeing weakness on it, right? We've seemed like we've bottomed out at 276, 275, whatever it is. Yeah, we are technically still in a downtrend, and things could just immediately turn around from what I envision. I envision this to like start making some higher movements, but ultimately like this could just drop lower and, you know, be part of just another higher low. No, a lower high. There, I'm mixing up my terms. So that's kind of what I see. I don't know. I'm just gonna delete this because I don't want to confuse myself. That's just a possibility, so not really confirmed yet. And ultimately, all of those alts that I showed you being overshadowed by just a larger downtrend line, super trend about to break soon, it's ultimately the same deal with Bitcoin. You shouldn't expect it above 80,000 before, you know, getting a rebound from that downtrend line. Meaning that we will still be in this prolonged bear market for a while. For a while. So yeah, that's what I think. That's what I see. Okay, I think I'm ready. Let's get into the news. We do have some decent stuff to talk about today, so let's get into it. Get this out of the way first. All right. So we had our jobless claims come in today. Doesn't really bring too much volatility usually. U.S. jobless claims came in at 227,000 in February 7 week. We were estimating 222,000, so we actually have more jobless claims than expected. Okay, but the Dow Jones is above 50,000. That's so funny. This whole thing with Pam Bondi yesterday, it's comical. The way she's like deflecting every question to like, okay, Pam Bondi, what about Epstein files? Yeah, but did you look at the Dow Jones today? Like 50,000? Come on, guys. We should be talking about that. Or we should be talking about Irina Zarutska. Or literally anything else other than the Epstein file. She's just using the deflect tactic. Which I'm sure, you know, literally Trump posted the exact same response later. I guess we know who she got the idea from. It's pretty funny. And yes, we will be talking more about Epstein right now. New Poly Market. Who visited Epstein Island? Let's go. Let's have a look what these people are betting. 8% chance for Elon Musk. Wow, what's the highest percent? Well, Bill Gates, obviously. There's like photographic evidence. This is literally free money, and I might have to sell some meme coins to buy this. Dude, I gotta send from my pump fund account to here. I'll do that later. I'll do it off stream. It's so much work. And I've been logged out either way. I'm too lazy to log back in. Harvey Weinstein is also, yeah, obviously. Jay-Z, we've seen him there, yeah. Michael Jackson. Oh, Michael Jackson. He died in 2009, right? Epstein convicted in 2008. It's a possible that Michael Jackson was there. I don't know about Bill Cosby. Who is Deepak Chopra? I don't know who these people are. Don't know who these people are. I heard of some of these names, but I just don't even know who they are. Peekaboo Che, welcome. Kevin Spacey, Bill Gates, Hillary Clinton. Bill Clinton. Wait, how's Bill Clinton at 27% chance? I'm sure Bill Clinton was literally photographed on the island. Or maybe it's on the plane. Donald Trump, 9% chance. I mean, he said that he isn't. People are believing that, I guess. 9% chance that Trump is on the island. Funny. Great. A lot of new polymarket things to bet on, which I'll be getting into. Here's Trump defending Pam Bondi on her marvelous work at deflecting every question yesterday. He says, Attorney General Pam Bondi, under intense fire from the Trump deranged radical left lunatics, was fantastic at yesterday's hearing on the never-ending saga of Jeffrey Epstein. I feel like this is actually going to be like the demise of the Republican Party, and part of the reason why they will lose these midterm elections. It's very likely that the Democrats win back some positions, right? Where the one thing that has been proven conclusively, much to their chagrin, is that a word? I never heard of this word before. Distress or embarrassment. Okay, well, there you go. President is teaching us English vocabulary. Much to their chagrin was that President Donald J. Trump has been 100% exonerated of the ridiculous Russia type charges. Actually, it's the slimeball Democrats, many of them big donors and politicians, that have been proven guilty. Republican loser, sanctimonious Republican name only Congressman Thomas Massie. What a title. Republican loser, sanctimonious Rhino Congressman Thomas Massie. He made a total fool of himself yesterday, fighting aimlessly against a hopeless agenda of hate and stupidity, as most clearly stated by his crashing job approval numbers in the great Commonwealth of Kentucky, where a military hero opponent, Ed Gallrain, is crushing him in the polls. Obviously, Trump wants anybody who literally opposes Thomas Massie to beat Thomas Massie. He wants the guy out. He is now in wacky Liz Cheney territory. Nobody cared about Epstein when he was alive. They only cared about him when they thought he could create political harm to a very popular president who has brought our country back from the brink of extinction, and very quickly at that. Honestly, they kind of brought this upon themselves because the Republicans, they did run on releasing the Epstein files, MLK files, JFK files, and did they do 9/11 files too? I guess we want to see that too. In fact, this attempt by the Democrats to take away attention from tremendous Republican success is backfiring badly. Maybe they should focus on their quest to open our borders to the world's greatest criminals, have transgender for everybody, or get men, no matter what their size or strength, to play in women's sports. Thank you. Okay. So, yeah, I guess. Now, there's also more talks about the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, also being heavily involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, Howard Lutnick said that he never had a relationship with Epstein, barely had anything to do with him, but there's a lot of contradicting evidence, especially with the recent batch of files that we got. Epstein convicted in 2008, I said. If anybody has any form of contact or relation with Epstein, association with him after that date, you knew what he was charged for. And Howard Lutnick apparently went to the Epstein Island himself with his whole family. Trump had this press conference today. There were some news reporters asking him about Howard Lutnick, right? He's like, were you not aware that Howard Lutnick took his wife and children to Epstein's Island for a family vacation? Trump says, well, I actually haven't spoken to him about that. Trump says that he never went to the island. Yes, we believe. And then, yeah, quickly deflected questions away from that. So moving on. Question on Israel and Iran. A news reporter asked, why does Prime Minister Netanyahu want you to stop negotiating with Iran? Wow, just point blank, give him that question. Trump says, well, we did not discuss that. I will try to talk to them as long as I'd like. If we can't get a deal, then we will go to phase 2, and it will be very tough for them. It seems like a lot of people interpreted it this way, right? That Benjamin Netanyahu came over to the United States to be like, look, man, this is what we want, these impossible requests, and if Iran does not accept these requests, which obviously they won't, then we will go to war with them, right? That's why we sent the other intimidation ship, and yeah, people are catching on, I guess, to that. Trump also says we have to make a deal, otherwise it's going to be very traumatic for Iran. I had a very good meeting with Bibi, but ultimately it's up to me. So Trump is once again saying I'm the guy in charge, not the Israeli Prime Minister. Asked about a timeline, he says, I guess over the next month, something like that. We'll see. Also talking about Europe, barely recognizable anymore. Apparently Marco Rubio is there and also made these similar kind of comments. Trump says about between immigration and environmental things like windmills. Okay. And then once again on the Prime Minister Netanyahu thing, stopping negotiations with Iran, Trump says, you're saying stop entertaining, stop talking to them? Didn't say that. We didn't discuss that. I'll talk to them as long as I'd like, and that's all I have for this. And they were also asking about, once again, about this video that was posted about the Obamas being portrayed as monkeys, which we also covered live. It was a sight to see. This is like an official news page now. The Kamala Harris headquarters, they changed their handle from Kamala HQ to Kamala. No, it was headquarters 67. Everybody thought it was cringe, so they changed it to 68, which makes no sense. And then now they changed their handle now to HQ News Now, still providing context. Okay. Trump defends the racist video he posted depicting the Obamas as monkeys. It's a very strong piece, he says. Reporter asked, have you fired that staffer who posted the video that included the Obamas? Trump says, no, I haven't. That was a video that's been shown all over the place before that was posted. It's a very strong piece on voter fraud. I think Trump himself did that. There was no intern. No, but actually, though, that's pretty funny. How do you mess up that bad? I mean, we talked about that a lot before, but it's just impressive. Tom Homan gives us an update on what's going on in Minnesota. He says, since I have been on the ground here in Minnesota, I have had the opportunity to assess progress of the surge operation, as well as conduct extensive federal, state, local, and community stakeholder outreach to hear their perspectives, obtain better cooperation, and de-escalate the intense, unlawful, and dangerous situation that had unfolded here, mainly the 2 deaths of Pretty Good. Today I was pleased to announce that ICE's target list has been significantly reduced, and many public safety threats have been removed from local communities. No! We have obtained an unprecedented level of coordination with countries to notify us before releasing a criminal alien from jail and allowing ICE to assume custody in the safety and security of a jail setting. Okay. Unlawful agitator activity has notably decreased. Good. And state and local law enforcement have stepped up to shut down unlawful actions committed by agitators. Also good. The far left and extreme organized agitator groups can try to spin this however they want, but these are the facts. Given the success we have achieved here, I announced earlier that I had proposed, and the president concurred with, concluding this surge operation. No. Our officers, agents deployed here will continue immigration enforcement actions in other locations across the country to deliver on the president's goals to maintain border security and conduct mass deportations. Please. I want to thank the dedicated, talented men and women of ICE and CBP who have worked tirelessly during this surge operation to enforce federal immigration laws and remove public safety threats from the streets of Minnesota. Minnesota communities are safer as a result. Thank you to Trump, la 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 la. Thank you. Okay, great. What about the actual mass deportations that was promised as well in the campaign? I feel like those are the two big issues, right? The mass deportation's not really happening. Maybe war with Iran, I guess that's a third issue. And then also this whole Epstein scandal. What is going on? Well, okay. We still got a couple more years of Trump to go. Trump also posted this: relations between Venezuela and the United States have been, to put it mildly, extraordinary. We're dealing very well with President Delcy Rodriguez and her representatives. Oil is starting to flow, and large amounts of money, unseen for many years, will soon be greatly helping the people of Venezuela. Marco Rubio and all of our representatives are doing a fantastic job, but we speak only for ourselves, and don't want there to be any confusion or misrepresentation. There is a story about a man named Harry Sargent III in the Wall Street Journal. He has no authority in any way, shape, or form to act on behalf of the United States of America, nor does anyone else that is not approved by the State Department. Without this approval, no one is authorized to represent our country. I don't know who that is. Literal random. Okay. I bring this up because apparently we are selling some of the Venezuelan oil to China again. They've purchased some of it from the United States under U.S. oversight. So it's kind of like, it's not like this is new to China to buy Venezuelan oil. That's what they used to do before under Maduro's regime. But now it seems like we've paused it for a while, we've seized their tankers, and then now we are just doing the same thing that we've been doing. I don't know if we're selling at a higher price to maybe make some more profit or take advantage of it. But yeah, it's happening again. And also, same deal with Israel. We've been selling oil to Israel as well. Venezuelan oil. So yeah, there you go. I wanted to bring this up again. The Netherlands, remember that they were going to be passing a bill that will impose a 36% tax on unrealized gains, which, of course, everyone and myself and your grandma agrees that this is a terrible idea. On what assets? It seems like they will be targeting investment assets like stocks, bonds, and cryptocurrencies, but real estate will be taxed differently. It's often on realized gains. Unrealized gains is what I mean. It's a 36% rate above, I don't know what this number is, threshold planned for 2028. However, recent reports suggest efforts to end such taxation instead. Couldn't confirm a bill passing to impose it. So this is fake news, by the way. It's not that they just passed the bill. It's just been proposed for now, but people are still discussing that. I hope it does not happen. Or maybe let's see. Maybe let's experiment with the Netherlands, the Holland. See what they do with this unrealized tax and how it will literally destroy any form of investment, because nobody wants to be taxed on unrealized gains, right? Unless they refund you in some way. Like, if I was to claim any tax rate here, government owes me whatever this is, right? It should work vice versa, in my opinion. Because the government looks at your trading profits and it's like, yeah, it's your risk, but it's our profit, you know? And it's like, okay, pal. What about our risk and my profit? That's never going to happen. Now moving on to Coinbase. Huge scandal with Coinbase. For whatever reason, they say that their users are currently unable to buy, sell, or transfer crypto. Investigating. We're aware that customers may be unable to buy, sell, transfer on Coinbase at this time. Our team is investigating and will provide an update. Your funds are safe. Why this is happening. And also, literally right after the Super Bowl ad, which I was also like reviewing other people's reactions on it. The retail investors were very unhappy with the Coinbase ad. First of all, because it's Backstreet Boys. Everybody likes the Backstreet Boys. Everybody's singing along to it, to this Movie Maker 2008 style video with this horrendous blue background and yellow white text to the lyrics, right? So, you know, everybody had this karaoke vibe. I saw it happen, by the way, until the Coinbase logo appears and everybody's like, oh, and you see all the videos online of people reacting by giving it the middle finger or like literally shutting off the TV. Like, they're upset. The retail investors are upset with the Coinbase. They do not want to know anything about cryptos right now, especially at this state. Now, maybe this is bottom signal. Maybe this means it's time to buy. You buy when nobody wants to buy it, and you sell when everybody wants to buy it. Right? Isn't that how it works? So more on this. The Coinbase outage alert. Coinbase confirms users are currently unable to buy, sell, or transfer crypto onto the platform. Their official status page lists it as investigating, with the key line, your funds are safe. When the biggest US exchange freezes spot activity, it can tighten liquidity fast, widen spreads, and spark short-term volatility across Bitcoin, ETH, and alts. This is why it's important not to hold your crypto on one exchange long-term all the time. Yeah, I mean, I diversify, I'm fine. We've seen it time and again. Outages, hacks, frozen withdrawals during stress. Even if funds are safe right now, you can't move them when you need to. Keep only what you're actively trading on exchanges. The rest has to be on hardware wallets, multi-signature wallets, cold storage, whatever gives you the control. So you must diversify across multiple platforms, never all in one. You set up self-custody for hodl bags, and test small transfers regularly to avoid surprises. Yeah, I agree with that. Another thing that happened today is Coinbase earnings. We missed Q4 estimates. Let's go. We reported a $667 million loss as revenue fell 20%. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Q4 was indeed unbelievable for crypto, so obviously Coinbase was going to feel some of that. Given that result, it actually gave us a new low on Coinbase. Where is my trading view chart? Let me go to coin. Here we go. Bad earnings, big red thing. Now, we wicked down to 134. I was talking about how 140 was a very important level. Literally not that long ago. I think I might have actually talked about it on this day. The fact that we saw this exact point back in April 7. Get this out of here. Yeah, April 7, literally, of last year. And now we are lower than that. Maybe we are indeed in a bear market. I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised that Coinbase took this long to be at this point. Bitcoin's far been past that, you know, since before Bitcoin's been lower than 74,000, or April 7 low of last year, since, where is 75,000? Actually, it's around the same time. It is indeed around the same time, yeah. That day when we dropped to literally 60,000. But now Coinbase obviously is lower than whatever low point we had on February 5. This is mainly sparked by the earnings, the bad earnings that we just got here. What is the earnings per share? Down 3.491 earnings per share. Lovely. But that's not all. We will be going into a deeper dive on it. Coinbase just posted one of their most important earnings reports to date, and most people completely failed to see the bigger story at play. They all focused on the headline miss, revenue being down 22%, consumer transaction revenue down 45%, $2.49 loss per share, when analysts expected a $1 profit per share. How is that even possible? It looks terrible, right? Here's the bullish reality everyone seems to want to ignore. Coinbase isn't the same company it was in 2021. They now have 12 different products generating over $100 million annually, meaning they're not a crypto exchange anymore. They're a financial infrastructure company. Trading volume hit $5.2 trillion for the year. That's impressive, up 156% year over year. Market share doubled to 6.4%. The subscription services revenue has reached $2.8 billion, 5.5x higher than the peak of the last bull cycle, by the way. And almost 1 million people now pay for Coinbase One subscriptions, which tripled in 3 years. They acquired Deribit and became the global leader in crypto derivatives by open interest and options volume. That's also impressive. They launched prediction markets, where they launched equities trading. They're handling crypto custody for over 150 government agencies. The Q4 miss happened because consumer transaction revenue dropped. Yeah, Q4 was unbelievable for crypto. Which basically means that retail wasn't aping into meme coins as hard in Q4, literally. I mean, we saw the reaction of everybody at the Super Bowl with the Coinbase ad. And is that supposed to be bearish? Maybe not. The entire thesis against Coinbase has always been that they're too dependent on retail speculation during bull markets. That's why they say, like, if you see Coinbase as #1 on the App Store, sell everything you got. This earnings report shows they have been systematically fixing that problem. Stablecoin revenue spiked 61%. Average USDC held on platform hit an all-time high of $17.8 billion. They're building toll roads, not casinos. When the next wave of institutional adoption hits, they're the incumbent. When the next retail mania arrives, they'll capture it too. But now they don't need either to survive, and that is what transformation looks like. One quarter's miss during a downturn doesn't change the trajectory. The everything exchange thesis is playing out. We shall see. Brian Armstrong, of course, commented on it. It's earnings day. 2025 was a strong year for Coinbase, and we built a solid foundation for continued growth in 2026. Our thesis is actually very simple. Crypto is updating all financial services, and we're the best positioned company to capitalize on this transformation. Some highlights about it. Total trading volume grew 156% year over year, as we talked about. Assets on Coinbase increased 3 times over the last 3 years. We have 12 products generating over $100 million of revenue on an annualized basis, and new all-time highs in USDC and Coinbase One. What do you mean, new all-time highs in USDC? I know what they mean, right? The volume or the usage, I guess. Maybe the market cap, but not the price, of course. That's always supposed to be $1. Onwards. Also this, why are you dumping so many shares? Another thing that's going on with Coinbase is that they are selling, well, Brian Armstrong selling his own Coinbase shares. Over 1.5 million Coinbase shares were sold for about $550 million between April and January of 2026. That's a big time frame. Why? According to Van Eck. Almost like he knew that this was coming. Now I'm sure he's just taking profits. He's totally taking profits at this point. Yes, absolutely. What else did he post here? The expectation of 2026. Here's the flywheel that helps Coinbase lead. We are the most trusted brand in crypto. So trusted that we have our transactions blocked right now. This causes people to store more assets with us. We connect more products into those assets. We talked about the 12 products. We use revenue from those products to invest back in trust and more products, and we repeat that. Top 3 priorities in 2026 are to become the everything exchange, trade every asset class from one account. Does that include stocks and commodities? Maybe. Dude, we can't even trade futures in Canada, so what is the point? Stablecoins and payments. The digital dollar is crypto's second killer app. On-chain, this is where the industry is headed with DEXs, DeFi, self-custody wallets, etc. Are we talking about the base chain? Maybe. And people are like, yeah, why are you dumping? And Coinbase unable to buy, sell, or transfer crypto. Literally this. What is going on? But okay. Now, a comparison from Hyperliquid to Coinbase, because Hyperliquid has indeed been killing it. It is not dropping. And I mean, the good thing about being in a tokenized version is that you don't have to worry about quarterly reports, right? So Hyperliquid making more money than Coinbase. I guess I'll compare these charts. Well, Coinbase makes more revenue. What do you mean? The net profit, though, because they have to distribute the revenue to their employees. That's how it works. Now, Hyperliquid only has how many employees? 11 employees versus Coinbase having 4,700 employees. That means that every employee at Hyperliquid, given this type of revenue, although it's less than Coinbase, they're basically making $44 million per employee. That is data for Q3 2025, though. So it's obviously worse for Coinbase and obviously better for Hyperliquid, especially because of the commodities surge, right? So Hyperliquid obviously deserved, absolutely doing better than Coinbase at this point. What does this other chart show? How many dollars worth of assets on the platform? Assets under management, I guess. $516 billion for Coinbase, $7 billion for Hyperliquid. Yeah, it's smaller. Yes, it's less revenue, but there's also less employees. It's decentralized and there's no issues. October 10th, Hyperliquid was doing perfectly fine. Coinbase, I'm sure they were halting some transactions or had crazy wicks on their charts. So, you know. Yeah, that's really it. Just wanted to compare those two. One last point from Brian Armstrong saying about the crypto structure bill. I'm confident that we can achieve a market structure win-win that advances the president's crypto agenda while addressing the concerns of the banks. Dude, what crypto agenda at this point? We're like Do we even have one? Is this part of the agenda to make things low? Hey, maybe. I'm hoping Jim Cramer was right about Donald Trump secretly buying crypto at 60,000 Bitcoin. Big if true. All right, we'll see. That whole market structure build does kind of depend on two guys, Brad Garlinghouse, Brian Armstrong, and then the big banks. What else we got? The U.S. Senate Banking Committee announced that it is collaborating with the SEC Chair Paul Atkins on legislation to define the market structure for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, aiming to establish the United States as a global leader in crypto for generations to come. Yes, we do need this. I'm sure his opinion will be good. The announced legislation appears to be the Senate's push for the Clarity Act, the Digital Assets Market Clarity Act, which broadly defines market structure for Bitcoin and all cryptos, clarifying CFTC and SEC roles, registrations, and investor protections. If it's for stablecoins, that's specific to stablecoins. All right, what is bro talking about? Moving on. Now, the CFTC came out with this announcement over here. Innovation, what is this? They announced Innovation Advisory Committee members. Flashbang warning, sorry. And there's a huge list of randoms. I'm going to turn this into the dark theme because my eyes hurt. So, well, Brad Garlinghouse, not Brian Armstrong anymore, he says, as far as committees go, this is the Olympics crypto roster because there's so many important people on this list. They announced a 35-member Innovation Advisory Committee, which includes CEOs from Coinbase, Polymarket, Ripple, Kraken, Gemini, Chainlink Labs, and Robinhood in the CFTC. And yes, we do need these people here. So yeah, here's Brian Armstrong. Okay, well, I guess he is there. I said he wasn't. Who else is here that I recognize? Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple. Crypto.com is here, Chris. The guy from Kalshi, okay. Grayscale CEO, Sergey Nazarov from Chainlink, he's there. Kraken CEO, Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev, Tyler Winklevoss of Gemini, and Anatoly Yakovenko from Solana. Those guys are part of it. What does it say here? The announced members, okay, today marks an important and energizing moment at the CFTC as the Innovation Advisory Committee takes shape, says the chairman Michael S. Seelig. The IAC's, so the Innovation Advisory Committee, work will help ensure the CFTC's decisions reflect market realities so the agency can future-proof its markets and develop clear rules of the road for the golden age of American financial markets. Chairman Seelig is a sponsor of this committee and nominated Michael Pasalacqua as the committee's designated federal officer. And the following individuals have been appointed as members. The IAC will serve as an important resource for cutting-edge innovation in the derivatives and commodity markets. The committee will help the Commission keep pace with how breakthrough innovations, such as artificial intelligence and blockchain technologies, are transforming markets, enabling the agency to develop adaptive regulations and maintain robust financial oversight in a world where change is constant. Do I want to read all this? America is home to the most transparent and well-regulated financial markets in the world, but we cannot assume that this will always be the case, says Chairman Seelig. By bringing together participants from every corner of the marketplace, the IAC will be a major asset for the Commission as we work to modernize our rules and regulations for the innovations of today and tomorrow. CFTC. Lovely. I approve. You have my stamp of approval. Go crazy. This is new. Polymarket launches a 5-minute Bitcoin price market. This is literally gambling at this point. You're not even investing in Bitcoin, but hey, that's actually fun. And now I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I might do it. What do I look up here? Bitcoin up or down? Is that it? Hold on. Bitcoin up or down. That's crazy. This is like for 15 minutes at a time. February 13. We're literally betting like actually in the future. What are we doing here? Oh, there's 5 hours left for this. What is the bets? How do I bet? Oh, do you just bet it's going to be up or down? That's it? It's literally like a 50-50 bet? This is cancer. Oh my. I like this chart. Seeing Bitcoin's price move in real time. Okay, well, there you go. I guess if you truly want to gamble, why go to the casino anymore? You could just do it from the comfort of your gaming chair. You know, the toilet. Anyway. Fun fact, 15 years ago today, Bitcoin reached $1 for the first time. And here you are complaining about $66,000. Relax, you're fine. People were, I don't know why we're bringing up Peter Schiff in the middle of all this, but here you go. Peter Schiff has known about Bitcoin for 15 years, and he has never bought it. He saw Bitcoin go from $1 to $126,000, and he still calls it a scam. His brain must be researched. He actually replied to this and said, and I will watch it go all the way back down too. 95% or more of all the people who bought Bitcoin will end up losing money. I don't know, it wasn't like that at some point, right? When we were at all-time highs, no matter at what price you bought, you were in profit. Remember those types of narratives? It's okay, we'll get that eventually again, soon, maybe. So, yeah, I mean, if you bought in the last year, sure, you're probably down some good money. I am. But come on now. We're not going to lose. Not everybody's going to lose on Bitcoin. Otherwise, what are these big companies doing? What is BlackRock, Grayscale, Coinbase, Robinhood, Binance, does Hyperliquid even buy Bitcoin? I was going to say Tether too. Those guys don't even buy Bitcoin. They buy gold. All right, whatever. We'll be fine. Don't listen to Peter Schiff. My advice every time. Stanchart slashes their Bitcoin target and they flag risk of 50,000 drop. Who cares about what these guys saying? Standard Chartered, the $800 billion banking giant, they cut their end of 2026 Bitcoin target price to 100,000 from 150,000 and warned of a near-term slide to 50,000. Hey, I'm ignoring the 50,000 part. End of year 100,000 Bitcoin. I can accept that. The bank also trimmed its ETH forecast, oh no, to $4,000. With a downside risk of 1,400, citing ETF outflows, weaker macro conditions, and delayed Fed rate cuts for the first drop in forecasts. Yeah, I feel that too. 1,400 ETH, says this bank. Maybe. We hit a low of 1,300 last year, April 7. I think we'll be fine. But a rise to 4,000, what do you mean by end of year 2? I mean, that's not too bad for ETH either, 4,000. Either way, we're expecting a rise later because of the rate cuts, because of the liquidity, because Trump must do something to pump the markets if he does want to secure a vote or two. We'll also be getting a tariff dividend check if the Supreme Court tariffs are not deemed illegal. I really hope they're not, but I don't know how long we're going to keep delaying that decision. Let's go. Dead projects. I'm going to read a big list of dead altcoins here. Are you ready for the harsh truth? Posted by some random guy on Twitter, but we're going to read it either way. Monad, Starknet, ZK Sync, Circle. Is that actually it? I never heard of this. Aleo, Mina, Linea, Boba Network, Aptos, RIP Aptos. Might have to cut it off, honestly. Cosmos, Near, Rootstock, Cardano, Stellar, Kronos. Oh boy. Axelar, Astar. Do you mean Aster? BitTensor. Oh no. Salo, Circuit, EOS, Sonic, my favorite. Injective, Kaya. Kaya does okay sometimes. Kava, Lisk, Metis. Tezos, Wormhole Movement, Kinto, Celestia, Blast, PinAI, Midas, Kinto. You put Kinto twice. Metis twice. Zero G, Polygon, Barachain. That thing died from the start. It's so funny. And Story. Is Story the IP one? I think it is. IP Story. Where is CoinMarketCap? I'm gonna make sure I'm thinking of the right one. Story. Yeah, it is IP. I remember. Okay, my thoughts on it. Whoops. Yeah, a lot of them, sure. Aptos, yeah, I might have to give up Aptos, honestly. Sonic, rip Sonic. Huge potential, but it just didn't really hit. I've talked about it a lot in the past. I was doing like really heavy research on it. It did seem like something great. Better Solana. A lot of transactions per second available. But honestly, if we're really going to go for transactions per second, just go for... I don't know, I think Kita. Kita wants to be like the big dog soon. It's literally a cheetah. It's a cat. What else was I looking at? BitTensor. Where are you? Here. Because I still have those over here. BitTensor and Aptos. I still like them. I'm not getting rid of BitTensor. Aptos I might. I do want to start, like, maybe... I don't know. I'm so, like, uninterested in alts right now. Everybody is. And that's part of the reason why I am too. If they're not going to go up, what's the point? Right? They could be the best thing ever, but nobody's buying it. So what is the point? Now, of course, if you're thinking about this in the long term, you do want to know which projects are genuinely good and have good potential of rising. Could be those, right? Now, for Aptos, I mean, I already have Sui, so what is the point of having Aptos? That's kind of my argument for it. Might kick it out. And if I do, what do I replace it with? And I also have more room for another few altcoins. What would I even choose? I don't see Avalanche on this list. Maybe that's a good thing. What else is not on that list? XRP, Ethereum, Solana, Tron. Maybe I'll start... No, I don't want to do Tron. I don't trust Justin Sun. I have Monero there. Where is Zcash? Oh boy, look at it. 3.8 billion market cap. They used to be neck and neck with Monero at, what was it, at 10 billion? So funny. I did like Stellar too. Hey, Litecoin might add back in here, because Litecoin is Litecoin, you know? Like the way people say Bitcoin is Bitcoin, you know, Litecoin is Litecoin. It's also there. There was talks about Avalanche, Hedera. What about this? I mean, we've been abandoned by the US government. Hedera is at... She's down 12% year to date. Can I see the big chart? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, at least it's got a max supply. That kind of makes me want to buy Hedera. I'll keep it in consideration. So, okay, you know what? I'm going to write these down in case I forget. Possible chains I would be really interested in. Looking at Litecoin. I'm looking at HBAR. Do I really want to do Avalanche? Maybe. Avalanche with an asterisk. AVAX. The rest of these can all just die off. Sorry. Maybe I'll get Pump Fun. Because I don't have any meme coin plays. Right? And when meme coins do come back in, you don't know which meme coin is going to pump. But you know that Pump Fun is the host of all meme coins. Either that or M. What is the M one? Meme Core. I've not done any research on Meme Core yet. It's still like ultra popular over here for whatever reason. So it's either that I pick for my meme coin play or Pump Fun. Right? It's the same way as like, I don't know, instead of investing in commodities, you invest in a DEX like Hyperliquid. That will take advantage of the rise in any, you know, hot movement, some trendy movement coming from commodities because they do enable that trading. I don't know, stuff like that. So I don't know, I'll probably, but Pump Fun is also going through like that legal case, aren't they? And it's also linked to Solana. If Solana does not do well, Pump Fun will not do well. They're all Solana meme coins. Maybe Meme Core has something different. I'd have to research it more. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. What is BitTorrent? BitTorrent. Where have I heard of this before? BitTorrent. Isn't that like an actual torrenting thing? It is. Why do they have a cryptocurrency? What is this? Scam. BitTorrent is a popular peer-to-peer file sharing and torrent platform. Yeah, literally, which increasingly decentralized in recent years. Okay. Originally released in 2001. Uh-oh, it was purchased by Tron in 2018. I immediately trust you less. Alright, well, what are we doing with this? I mean, it's down only ever since launch. Everything is, but okay. No max supply. Alright, yeah, I'm not buying that. Here's Kaya that I was talking about. I don't know, usually sometimes they'll have some, like, really good movements I've noticed in the past. Now, these are, like, recent. It's not an old chain, right? 2023. I remember this rise over here in 2025. It was like, why is this performing well while everything else is not performing well? But here we are making new lows, so do I really want to buy this? Probably not. There was this other one. It was Sky. Sky. What are we doing with that one? Maybe I read into it a little too much and got, like, sucked into it. It's basically Maker rebrand, right? And Maker also had DAI rebrand, which also had Sky stablecoin change to that. Has a max supply, which a lot of it is already in circulation. Henceforth, little to no inflation, right? Virtually none. Now, why would you buy this darn coin? God knows why you'd want to buy this. What are we even doing here? USDS is their stablecoin, by the way. USD Sky. Smart Burn Engine. Oh, it's an algorithmic thing, isn't it? Like Terra Luna. I think that's what I read about it. That kind of made me, like, iffy about it. But I'm sure they've learned their lesson. They would have, like, done the research on what happened with Terra Luna's case. Okay. Let me find USDS. It's number 3. It's basically DAI and stablecoin, right? And does it say what it's doing here? Token rewards. I'm sure I've read this before, and it's like, I just don't remember anything, though. It's restricted in US, UK, and VPN users. Wow, racist. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. Your loss. My final news is Kim Jong-un. He's announced that his 13-year-old daughter, I never knew even had one, will be the next Korean leader, according to South Korea's spy agency. Uh-oh, they've got spies up in there. I love how she also looks just as chubby as him. Well, I don't want to get nuked. Sorry, you guys look great. Okay, do not nuke us. Sure. Wasn't his sister... Sorry, I slapped my mic. Wasn't his sister supposed to be the next leader? But also she was a bit psycho, wasn't she? I don't know, dude. Alright, so bottom line, end of the stream. That's all I have for today. All the best to North Korea. Might kick out Aptos, might replace it with Litecoin, Hedera, and Avalanche. I'm sure their charts are doing fantastic, aren't they? That's what I wanted to look up. Hedera's chart, I literally looked at it. Litecoin. I mean, we kind of know where Litecoin is at. It's at 52, 53 right now. But it will have its big spike ups eventually. Although it's been a bit underwhelming over here. This is 2021, right? Yeah, it's been underwhelming in this recent bull run. But hey, even going from 52-100 plus, which we have seen before, easiest 2x in my life. And what, you think this thing is going to keep going lower? Really don't think it will. So I like that. Well, what else was I looking at? Cardano's dead, sorry. Hedera, I said that. Avalanche, where is Avalanche? Number 25. We're making new lows. Like, actually new lows. Ignoring this. Yep, that's sad for Avalanche. Maybe I won't. Okay, yeah, there's still a bit more to be released as well. I don't like the tokenomics. I might have to go for a meme coin play. Whether that's Pump Fun or Meme Core. Where's Meme Core's chart? I don't know, Meme Core is like holding really strong, and I have to do more research on it. Here it is. I also like W ticker, by the way, it's literally just M. Look, it's still up. Like how? What does it say? Layer 1 blockchain built for Meme 2.0, a new paradigm where meme coins transcend speculation to become engines of culture, value, and community coordination. What does it use, though? Binance? Is that Binance? Or ETH? I don't know, dude. Oh, my eyeballs. So how does this work? I don't know. I have to do like actual research on this. If I find anything good, I'll maybe explain it to you guys. Sure. Yeah, this is like whole room of studying, so okay, I'll do that later. Later. Well, there you go. That's all I've got for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll be talking about the inflation data and see what happens to the markets. Hopefully something good, but it's been an underwhelming week. We'll see. And hopefully no 50K, because we don't want to see that. So yeah, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe. I will see you tomorrow then, okay? Have a great rest of your evening. Thanks for watching. Bye.